Get ready for the Girls on Games podcast, your weekly dose of news, reviews, and everything video games. Always served with a good helping of hype and just a pinch of salt. And now, your host, Leah.
Hello and welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. My name is Leah. I'm the host of this show. This is episode number 464. And on the episode this week, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro reveal, which we knew was going to be happening last week, but of course we've recorded in the past and so on and so forth. This always happens to us. We're also going to talk about the Annapurna Interactive staff walkout, and the Nintendo Switch 2 rumor mill is very much spinning on its way, and we are waiting to hear more, and we're going to be talking about all of that. But before we get into all of these discussion points, let's talk about all the folks who are joining me on this digital table here today. Catherine, how you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm excellent. Joelle, what's up?
I am too fucking hot. Where is the fall weather that I wanted?
I left it in Edmonton.
I agree.
What? Like, I walked to my car and I'm sweating. I hate this.
It is like between 25 and 30 degrees here all week up until the end of the week. I had to shave my legs because we're still wearing shorts. Like, this is mid-September. We had that one day at 10 degrees. I miss it. Really, it was?
Oh.
Yeah, like the highest it was like 16, 17 degrees.
Oh my God.
And
That's
down
what
to
it
9
should
in the
be.
evening.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
it was
should
beautiful. I wasn't ready. I was like, this is glorious. And then I got off the airplane, like literally walking off the airplane onto the like ramp thing or whatever with a crew neck on. And I was like, it is too hot in Toronto. But we will get into that in a minute. Let's get through some housekeeping. I'd like to remind you that if you enjoy this show, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to get some GOG merch, you can do that by going to designbyhumans.com/shop/girlsongames. Or maybe you'd like to give us a tip, maybe buy us a coffee. You can do that by going to our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/girlsongames. Ladies, I'm curious to know what you've been up to because I have been slacking hardcore in the Discord channel because I have just been working too hard the past few weeks. We'll get into that.
You're an adult with a job.
With a real job.
And a career.
Yeah. Kat, what have you been at, girl?
Well, speaking of careers, I had a pretty busy week at work. Just a lot of socializing thing. There's something internally called the Ubisoft Dev Conference, which is basically a tiny little Gamescom that we do internally. That's like NDA approved, so we can have a Gamescom type talk, but talk about shit we can't, So a friend and I submitted a talk to that. We got that ready this week, so that was very unnerving because it was my first time trying to submit something for that. So we're getting together to propose a talk on UI stuff.
Ooh.
Cool.
That I probably can't share with you guys because we're going to talk about very inside baseball stuff, but we'll see if we get approved. After that, I had later in the week, I had a catch-up coffee with an old colleague of mine who's also going through some stuff, trying to get his career going. So we had a good 30-minute, 45-minute talk together to just talk about shit. I love him to death. I don't see him a lot. We don't talk a lot enough. We're both terrible at that, so we just see each other twice a year. It's like we never left. So yeah, it was a very busy stuff going, lots of meetings, lots of presentations. So I kind of crashed this weekend, didn't want to talk to people at all. And then Sunday did a bit of stuff. My sister-in-law took the kids apple picking, so my brother was home to finish some honeydew stuff around the duplex, so I helped him with a bit of stuff. Planned some extra things because we noticed big crack in the caulking of our window, water getting in. We're like, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, we got to wait for the weather to get cooler because right now it's so hot and sunny that it's just going to make it worse. But you got to recaulk stuff every 5 to 10 years. Like, it's no biggie.
Gotta get that caulk out.
Yeah, gotta get that cock out and rock out.
Yeah. We're 10.
I can't help it. It's just every time. You gotta do it. You just gotta get out of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I did. Bit of gaming. And then this week at work it is eerily quiet. To the point where I'm like, I think everything happened last week is what happened. And this week is pretty quiet, but I'm like, this is, like, am I forgetting something? I feel like I'm forgetting meetings. I feel like I'm forgetting deadlines, but I double checked. Only thing I have right now on a firm and tight deadline is something I have to do for Wednesday. And I'm just like, and I checked with my boss this morning. I'm like, this feels weird. This feels like this week feels too quiet. And she's like, no, that's sounds about right. And I'm like, okay. She's like, probably next week, slam you with more stuff. But right now I'm like, don't tell people you exist. I'm like, okay, sounds about right.
How about you, Joelle? What have you been up to?
Ooh, last week I was in a training all week for project management, boring stuff. Really long days though. Like, I'm not used to sitting for like 6 hours. I don't know how I did it. I'm just like, I hate this so much. It was so hard to concentrate. And like, it's what I do, but like, it's just the material is so boring. But then over the weekend, we did a scuba trip.
Ooh.
Because we got certified last month, and apparently scuba diving, it takes you a while to like work out all the kinks of like how your gear works and how you feel underwater and like all that stuff. So we went up kind of like straight north to Minnesota to a place called Cuyuna Lakes, which it used to be a bustling iron mine. And when the iron mine went dry, they filled all the pits with spring water to make lakes. So you can dive these pits, which used to be iron mines. So when you dive down there, you can like see remnants of like little roads that they used to drive down to get to the pits and stuff like that. And they're fairly clear. So visibility was pretty good, like 20 feet, which was the most visibility we have had so far in diving. And learning to dive was kind of stressful, so we wanted to go and just like try a normal quote unquote dive, like where you go and then you descend and you have a plan and then you come up, and it's with a scuba shop that we got certified with that we really like in Maple Grove. And we went with some really high quality instructors, and you didn't have to like stick with them, but there was Ryan and I went, and then another couple were there, and we were fairly new divers, so they just took us. And then the other folks that were there had been diving significantly longer, so they just went out on their own. But they have like snacks, and they served us a meal after, so it was pretty fun. It was an all-day thing, but apparently sometimes when you go down, we went down 44 feet. That was our max depth underwater. And I was like, I can't believe I'm 44 feet underwater right now. That is wild. But apparently your mask can get really tight on your face because of the water pressure. And when I was down there, I'm like, wow, like it's really hard to see. Like my eyes are really watery, and like I'm having a hard time like seeing what's going on, because it just felt like my eyes were like, it almost was like I was like crying, like, you know, when you cry and your vision gets all blurry, like that's what it felt like. So we're underwater, so you use hand signals to communicate because you can't speak. But I looked at Ryan, and he pointed at his mask, and then he pointed at my mask, which meant that something might have been wrong with my mask. And you give a hand signal, like you, like, are you okay? And I was like, no, like my mask is like not okay. And we were kind of freaking out, and when you're down also that far underwater, the temperature gets really cold. They're called like thermoplanes. So the temperature drops like 20 degrees from what you're normally experiencing. So maybe it was like 70 degrees at like 30 feet, and then you drop to 40 feet, and it can drop like 20 degrees in a span of 10 feet. So it can get much colder. You're like, whoa, it's definitely much colder. So he got cold because he just wasn't used to the thermoplane. So we responsibly like came up, because you can't just like swim up fast when you're that
you get
far
the bends
down. Yeah, you get the bends. And so we safely descended up, and then when we got up to the surface, he was like, what is happening with your face? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it was hard to see. He was like, it was kind of scary, because when I looked into your mask, your face was totally red, and I couldn't like see your eyes because your cheeks were so squished. And so I had experienced what they call mask squeeze, which is really common. But essentially, like, I bruised my whole eye socket and like face area where my mask was. And my eyes have been all bloodshot and like yellow. And I had like all my blood vessels around my eyes popped.
Oh, shit.
He's like, that just wasn't normal. And I was like, no wonder my eyes hurt, because the pressure of the mask was causing my face to like explode in the mask. And so unfortunately I couldn't go into the second dive just because it was too deep. And apparently the mask that I have, the silicone is super sturdy, which means that your mask won't leak. So it's like sturdier silicone, so it really sucks on your face, so you won't get any leakage. But then the consequence of that, if you dive like below 15 feet, is that you're gonna it's gonna just be too much. Like you're gonna get this mask squeeze, and so I have to buy a new mask, which is everything in scuba is expensive, which is expensive. It's like a $200 mask now that I have to get. But it's just, so it was good. So it's just those things of like learning how the sport like kind of goes. You know, you experience one thing and you have to adjust, and it's just a really kind of slow and like tedious process. But it was really cool to be that far underwater. We were that far where our the dive master that we dove with, she turned her light on because it was kind of dark, and just all like the life, like it's not I'm trying to think of it. It's not weeds, but like the grass. I don't know what else to call it. Underneath like the seabed.
Vegetation.
Yeah, like the vegetation was so cool because it was so green. It was almost like neon. It was so bright, and it was so plump because it just has so much water, like to thrive in. And maybe it's so plump because it doesn't get that much light. You know, like kind of aloe plant. Like sometimes plants that don't need that much light, they're more like water, heavy, so they're more like plump and round. And then all the fish, and of course it was freshwater. Northern fish, so it was like sunnies and perch and bass and some good-sized northern. But it's just like cool to be like in their environment. And, like you're just swimming around and they're like looking at you like, who, like what are you doing here? And then they like move on, and because they filled the pits, just as like working was stopped, they left all the trees. Mm-hmm. And so when you are diving and you're swimming around, you see these tree trunks. Like all the vegetation off the tree is gone, but you swim past these tree trunks, and they were there they filled the pit, I think, in the 70s. So like the trees are still there. So anyway, it was a really neat experience. I think it was like the first time experiencing, a different world while diving. But I got a big bruised face. as a consequence. So gotta fix that for next time. But yeah, and then we were so tired. The next day, it just takes a lot out of you to go diving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to, per the training, they wanted me to take an exam after the training, so I had to do that. So yeah, it was just really busy with like adult stuff and scuba diving. So
cool, nice. Yeah, I have had a very full week. Actually, very full 2 weeks, because I told you guys how things have been going between the Billboard Women in Music event last time and TIFF and Toronto International Film Festival. Still going. It ended on Saturday, I think. But Wednesday was the VMAs, and my team has been so swamped that a few other of us decided to divvy up the social coverage of the VMAs, and I haven't done that in a very long time. And of course I took the first shift, which is red carpet, and just like it's probably the biggest VMAs that have happened in quite a while, between like Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Rowan, and like, oh my god, it was just insane. Like Shawn Mendes was there, and like it was a lot, and I was just 2 hours full tilt after most of a day of work. Plus I had come home and packed. Like I've essentially been working for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Mostly because like last Sunday I just cleaned and did laundry. But then Thursday morning I had to finish at 8 because I had a 9:30 flight the next day. Went out to Edmonton, Alberta for the 2024 Canadian Country Music Awards, which was first time ever attending a Canadian Country Music Awards event. And I don't think it's my first time in Edmonton, but definitely like the first time I remember. I think I was a child when I went before. And a lot of firsts. First time in a true country western bar, which we did on Thursday night, which was absolutely nuts. So the first night we got there, or Thursday we got there, and we got there at a decent hour. So I went and managed to check into my hotel room, and then decided to go visit my colleagues at the radio station. So I went and did that. We also had to go pick up a bunch of gear that we had rented for the event, because they didn't have enough microphones, like long stem microphones that could work with the mic flashes on it and things like that. Mm-hmm. And reviewed all the gear and stuff that we needed for the next day for the content row. So after that, went back to the hotel and then met up with some colleagues and made our way over to a special showcase that Sony Music was putting off. And it was in this theater that had like table seating with like little like lights on all the tables, and you were kind of circle them, and then they had like a stage, but it wasn't like a super high stage. Then they had how many artists is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 artists, I think, kind of going around in a semicircle, and they each performed a song acoustically, and they just went around twice the row. And it was so nice. It was like, and the setting was so beautiful. Like there's these like chandeliers coming from the ceiling, and it was just like intimate. And like the thing with country music, it's all very much singer-songwriter. So like the songs are deep and like poetry, and yeah, that was super cool. And then we went to the country western bar, which was buck wild, and I'd never seen anything like that before. It felt straight out like Roadhouse / Coyote Ugly. It was crazy. They had a big stage. They also had artists performing. They were all doing like 3-song sets. Some of the artists that we had just seen had to actually book it over there afterwards because they were performing. And yeah, I just partied there with colleagues. Went home at a decent hour because the next day on Friday we did Content Row. So that's essentially where all the artists who are nominated or going to be performing and stuff at the award show kind of come through, and we do sit down interviews. And I was organizing filming not just for iHeart and Pure Country, but also for eTalk. So we had a pretty ginormous setup, and we had about 20 artists come through, I want to say. Some of it we did just social interviews and stuff like that, but yeah. So we powered through that, and then they carted all of the girls carted all of the crew back, the gear back to to the radio station, and I had to peace out because we had the Country Music Awards Gala, which is essentially like the sit-down dinner where they give away the awards that they don't have time to give away during the actual broadcast television show that happens the next night. That was cool because the person who was getting awarded or inducted into the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame was Katie Lang. And I don't know if you're familiar with Katie Lang.
Yeah.
You know Katie Lang?
She is a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally having dinner 5 feet from Katie Lang.
Wow.
It was so cool.
Shit.
And I was like texting with my mom and I was like, this is awesome. So yeah, she got her award and like there's a bunch of other awards and all that kind of stuff. And then we went out to another bar because that's the thing with country music, especially the CCMA awards and everything. Like there's so many events and it's super chill and it's a great networking opportunity. You get to hear lots of great music and stuff. And we went out to an event after that. But then I decided to go back to the hotel because I needed to email the people with all the footage from that day that when it finally had uploaded into Dropbox and stuff. And considering the next day was show day, I wanted to be ready, make sure stuff was charging, all that kind of stuff. So the next morning, Saturday, got up and we were planning on doing an activation backstage. Once an artist had won an award, they were going to come to us right away and film their reaction for posting on socials. So we went and set that up. So what we ended up doing backstage is we borrowed some of the cabinets that they use for bringing the gear in. You know, those traditional like tech gear cabinets that are like black with like the silver edging and stuff on the wheels. Mm-hmm. And we stacked 3 of them. With 2 columns of them. And we printed off stickers of the iHeart logo, the CCMA logo, and the Pure Country logo, and put it all over it. Like they were like travel kits. And set up our lights and everything. We did that early in the morning. And then we booked it back because we had to film the red carpet. So we did that. And then went backstage and during the show got to film all the interviews. That's wild. And I got to film interviews with the Rec Laws and during the red carpet, and then we had Mackenzie Porter backstage. We had Thomas Rhett. Katie Lang came over after her performance, her induction performance and everything. And we published like over the course of the weekend, we published like 25 pieces of content, and most of that was actually on Saturday because we had people we went and filmed the red carpet. I handed a phone off to somebody. They started editing that content and posting it on TikTok, and then someone was putting it on Instagram, and then we went backstage, filmed those interviews, and immediately posted them.
Wow.
So remember how I said I was learning how to TikTok? Thank God that I did it. It was insane. We were done and published everything we wanted to publish by 9:30 because of the time change. The show started at 6, so it was airing here in Toronto at 8, but it started their time at 6. So we were torn down, packed up, and I had finished publishing content at around 9:30.
Wow.
So then I went out for drinks.
Well, of course. Deserved. But then you were done, right? So like
we were done.
Like how is that? Yeah. Like do you is that preferred, or is it just a different way of like doing it?
It was good. We still have some content to publish that, we collected because they're doing a radio show for it on Friday, which is like on Pure Country, a national show where they're kind of recapping all of it. So they're taking the audio content from what we had done and turning it into that radio show. And then there's pieces of content that we're publishing, like a few interviews, mashup interviews of like the same question we asked multiple artists at Media Row and things like that. So there's still a few things that are left to go out. But like, I like it because it's like it's all one and done, and when you have an award show, you want to get it out there right away. If not, it's not news anymore, right? Yeah. And doing it this way, like you get the immediate reaction, you get it out there, and then you're not just publishing like a congratulations X person for winning an award. Like you've actually got their legitimate reaction, right? Mm-hmm. So I was really happy with it, and everybody really liked our set, which was cool because, for something that we had to build kind of like on the fly, it turned out pretty good. And and then the next day we were just like, hey, okay, what else are we missing? Do we need to go back and tag some stuff, like things like that? Because we're traveling, so we had a 4-hour flight back to Toronto, and plus with the time change, like I got in at like 8 o'clock last night. But But yeah, it was fast and furious, and I know I had planned on playing video games on the airplane, but that didn't happen because they had Wi-Fi on the flight, so we were working instead.
Yeah.
Damn you, Air Canada.
Yeah. No, it was actually Porter. We went on Porter. So it was good. But thank God Air Canada didn't end up going on strike, because now I've got a few team members going to the iHeartRadio Music Festival this weekend to do that. So that's why I had to go and work the Canadian Country Music event, because we are just so swamped with events. It's a blessing and a curse all at the same time to have all these big events happening at the same time. But yeah, that was my week, and because of it, I've barely played any video games. So yeah, let's talk about what we've all been playing and then get into Fantasy Critic and stuff. I mean, obviously, like I said, I've played nothing, but now I got all this flex/loo time to use up. So I actually think I might try and take 2 Fridays off in a row. I might do this Friday and try and play Astrobot, since, Joelle, you said that it's going to be about 9 hours. I could probably do it over the weekend. Yeah. And then next weekend on Thursday is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Yep.
And, like, I could take Thursday off, too, but I'm like, I would rather just, be home and it be, ready on my Switch and then, play from the evening into the next day kind of deal. So that's my plan. Catherine, you play anything?
Oh, I'm still falling down in Jedi Survivor. The last thing I played, I haven't had time to play a lot, but the last thing I played is where you get the forward jump. When you're midair, you press B and you can go forward, and you add that to the double jump.
Yeah.
That whole sequence, after you get it, where they're like...
Yeah.
Oh, so hard. I can't... Good thing I turned off fall damage, because I did not have... It took me 5 times to get the timing right and to get up there.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's just like, once I got to somewhere, I'm like, please help me, there's a save point, and there was not. There was just stormtroopers waiting for me. I just pushed them off the ledge. I was so frustrated. I was like, get out of my way.
Oh, I thought that was a great sequence. But yeah, it is, yeah.
It's challenging. I am not good at platforming. Like, I am terrible. Like, I do not do platformers well. I don't do timing well.
Okay,
It's just... Like, I've always struggled with it, and often what happens is, like, I get somewhere, I look around, and I'm not sure where to go, and it's not super obvious in this game, and I've relied a lot playing games like Assassin's Creed or Horizon, where they give you a pulse to give you clues. Like, in Horizon, I was, like, climbing 3 things, hit that thing, where is it? Like, focus always on, show me the yellow spots, like, show me where to go. In this one, it's just like, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm just looking at a wall and I'm like, are those verticals lined to tell me I can wall run?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I jump on it and no, it was just set dressing. And I'm like,
rude.
Yeah, because my camera was not angled enough to see, like, the prompt for, like, my grappling hook or whatever. I'm having a lot of troubles in this game with a lot of the platforming and just, like, some of the level design to tell me where to go next is just not happening for me. Starting to think it's half a me problem, half a game problem. So probably because of just all my reflex from other games where I'm just like, just give me the fucking clue. Just tell me where to go. Like, if there's, like, a thing that, like, gives you, like, almost like a hand-holdy, like, this is the path you need to follow, I will turn it on.
Yeah, it's not always as obvious in that game. It's a little hidden.
Yeah, and because this game is based off, it's not an exploration game. It's not an open world. It's levels. You're supposed to just go through the thing and maybe find a secret as you make your way through it. So that's why I get frustrated. I play a lot of open world games where you just gotta fuck around and find out. And this one is just like, you gotta go where they want you to go and you just go forward. I don't, so I am struggling, but now that I got this forward, like, leap, jump, whatever it's called, like, it's helping me a lot. Because often, like, I'll hit the double jump too early, and now I've got, like, a third thing I could press. Just like, all right, let's get there. Just because my timing is so off. So terrible. But I'm loving the story, and I'm like, I gotta know what happens next. I'm invested. So, turning all the accessibility for the jumping and the platforming.
Yeah. That's what
Why
it's there
not?
for. Yeah.
Yep. How about you, Joelle? Play anything?
No, I tried to jump back into Outlaws, but then I just had adult things to do, and when you're in training for like 6 hours, like my brain, I just would come home and I wouldn't do anything. I just like lay on the couch.
I'm with you. That's what I was like too. I was like, oh,
can't.
let's play in the evening. You just
Yeah.
can't. You just don't have the get up and go. Like I would turn it on and play for like a hot minute and then put it down because I'm just like, I can't problem solve right now.
Yeah, like I can't do anything. Like I was so brain dead. And then I had to work on Friday, and then we had to get ready to go for scuba, which just meant like picking up all the gear, like getting everything packed, and then we got to come back and we got to wash the gear, let the gear dry out, and like all that stuff. So it was just, and then I had to take an exam, which took like 3 hours, like on Sunday, and I was totally. I was like, my brain was like, don't ask me to do anything else. And I was like, okay. So I didn't much, but I hope to jump back into, I should be able to jump back into Outlaws this week as I wait for Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm buying another game for that Switch. I can't believe it. I'm just like, I've heard that it's a little glitchy, that there's, loading and all that stuff. So, but I have to play it, but I am just a little like, I can't believe I'm buying a new game for this console.
Whatever is coming up better be backwards compatible, and I'm buying everything digital. So I sat down. I don't know what was wrong with me on Wednesday. I think I was just overtired and stressed out because I had to do all this social stuff and I wanted to get things done before I got on the airplane. And I was trying to download Cult of the Lamb, and I was like, I swear to God I've bought that game. I swear to God I've bought that game. But not gonna lie, I scrolled through my library on the Switch 10 times, being like, where the fuck is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Because then I go to the page, okay, and this is Nintendo. This is something you need to fix, okay? Like, maybe I still had it installed and it just needed to do an update. But anyways, I went on the store because I couldn't find it. And I was like, I swear I bought this game. And it says purchased.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, but where the fuck is it? But there's not any, like, re-download button or launch game or anything like that. So, like, I spent 3 or 4 times when I went back and forth. I was like, this makes no sense. But then I finally found it. I'm just blind.
Oh, is in your library?
It was in my library.
Yeah.
It did have a major update that I had to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was being so stupid. And I was just like, but it wasn't being stupid. I was being stupid.
It should
and I
have
just
taken
couldn't
you...
process finding the goddamn game. And I'm like, are these in alphabetical order? I think they're in alphabetical order.
No.
What am I doing?
It should have taken you to the game in your library to update. Like,
yeah. I just... Sometimes too, when they're all in a grid and they're small because it's a Switch and they're busy covers, and sometimes I just find it really hard to scan through and look for a game.
Yeah,
it's very much a me problem. Yeah. Let's check out the Fantasy Critic. So on the podcast league, we're still in me in first, Kat in second, Joelle in third. What came out? Well, what's coming up is the Plucky Squire, which I guess, Joelle, that comes out tomorrow, so you should have some details on that now. Frostpunk 2 comes, I got that one on my list. That comes out on the 20th. That's Friday. And then the next few are Legends of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, with this me, Starfield Shattered Space with this me, Silent Hill 2 Remake, which is Joelle, and Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, which is Joelle.
Woo-hoo.
Let's see. Okay, no, not new. Frostpunk 2 still doesn't have a score on it. No, nothing there. On mine, nothing has changed. Cat, no. Cat's locked in her Astrobot.
Yep.
Points.
Big
which we talked. I think we talked
30.
about that last week. The big fat 30. Let's see, Joelle, anything get added to yours? Nope. Nothing really has changed here, and everybody has everything, so there's no chance in looking at the history. No point in looking at the history. All right, over to the community. All right, some moving and shaking over here. Pat Kat is now in first. IRR Gamer. Darth is in second. Alban is in third. Offshore Meteor is in fourth. Ross is in fifth. Jessica is in sixth. I'm in seventh. Stainsby Kingsby is in eighth. Zhang Pao in ninth. And Phoenix is in 10th. The Plucky Squire, Ross has. UFO 50, Ross also has. Frostpunk 2, Apple Orchard Games, I think. Who's Apple Orchard Games?
Stainsby Kingsby, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. Area History Untold is Jessica's. Echoes of Wisdom, that's me. EA Sports FC 25 is Apple Orchard Games, and Shattered Space Starfield is Jessica. So there's stuff coming. I'm just scanning through. Thank goodness you're here. Did that already come out for a while? I feel like it has.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, okay. That's not a newer one. Let's see. If I can look at it. Satisfactory. So Alban got some points for Satisfactory because that actually came out and he got 24 points on that. That's pretty good. Alban, you have opportunity here, dude. You should go and pick up your last 4 games. Let's see. Anybody else? Homeworld 3. I feel like that's been out for a bit. Nope, nothing on Zhang Pao. No, everything here. That was me. What did I pick up there? Nothing. Let's see here now. Skull and Bones. No, I don't think anything changed here. Yeah, I think it was a calm week. There was no really big releases last week. So here we are. So yeah, that's where we stand on the Fantasy Critic. Ladies, are you ready to go on a walk down memory card lane?
Yep.
Each week, the team will have to guess a historical game that would have released during the time of this episode's airing. We'll start with its release date, then I'll give hints about the game for the team to attempt to guess what it is. As always, ladies, talk it through. This game released on September 20th, 2019. Let the guessing begin.
Undertale.
No.
I just had to get it out.
Deltarune.
Deltarune.
No.
Rainbow Six Siege.
No.
Leah is unamused.
Yeah. What else is our Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. Halo.
No and no.
Okay. We'll take the next hint while we try to keep our giggles in.
This game is a puzzle stealth game.
Puzzle stealth game.
2019.
Thief?
No.
Puzzle stealth. Like, what's this called? The Snake, not Full Metal Alchemist. What the fuck? Metal Gear Solid 5?
No.
Full Metal
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal
Anime.
Alchemist.
What's the game? I don't know if it's stealth. It was like for VR, and it was white, and then you had like the. They also,
Super Hot.
Yeah.
No.
It must not have been. She gave us the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Dishonored 2? Question mark?
Ooh, that was good. That was a good guess.
Did we do Dishonored? Now I'm second guessing to see if we did stuff.
Yeah, see, this is why I have the list. I know exactly all the games that I've already said.
I don't think we've done Dishonored yet, but I don't know.
Want another hint?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
It was initially released on the Nintendo Switch, Mac OS, and Windows. It later came to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
In 2019.
September 20th, 2019. This puzzle stealth game
Puzzle stealth
came to
game.
Nintendo Switch, Mac OS, Windows. It later came to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Don't Starve?
Nope.
Puzzle stealth. Is it Darkest Dungeon?
Nope.
Well, that's a good guess.
That's not stealth.
Well,
No, that's more like
I That's a
Rogue
turn-based.
Light.
Yeah, turn-based like deck
Turn-based.
building.
Puzzle. I feel like I should know this.
Do you want another hint?
Yeah.
Okay. The game has no spoken dialogue. Instead, it communicates goals and objectives visually through lists.
Lists.
Is this Untitled Goose Game?
Yes, ma'am!
Hey!
Oh, shit.
I got one.
Untitled Goose Game was released on September 20th, 2019. It is a puzzle stealth game.
Yeah.
Initially released on Nintendo Switch, Mac OS, Windows. It later came to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The game has no spoken dialogue. Instead, it communicates goals and objectives through its visually through its lists. It's developed by Australian indie game studios House. The player completes a to-do list of mischievous tasks, such as stealing objects and tricking villagers. The game features a minimalist storybook-like art style with soft block colors and simple shapes. The game was widely praised for its humor, charm, and originality. The soundtrack dynamically responds to the player's actions. It's based on Prelude No. 4 by classical composer Claude Debussy. In 2020, a free update introduced two-player cooperative mode, allowing players to control two characters. The main character you control has no name, and the game became a cultural phenomenon, inspiring numerous internet memes and fan art, which conveniently today, when I went scrolling through our Discord channel, there was Untitled Goose Game memes that were posted today. So I thought this was appropriate.
Amazing.
Honk.
Amazing. Honk.
Honk.
Honk is right. All right, ladies, let's get into the news of the week, because we got 3 stories to talk about. And we're back. And as per usual, because we record on a Monday, and then the episode comes out on Thursday, we missed the fact that we needed to talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro reveal, which has been divisive, to say the least. Catherine, want to bring us through it?
Yes, so I am excited about this. Not because I want a PS5 Pro, because I was a PS5 and I'm waiting for some nerds to upgrade and sell me their PS5 for cheap so they can afford the Pro. I've already...
And afford is definitely the way to put it.
Yes. So, if you know me IRL and you want somebody to help you fund this stupid purchase, hit me up. I want to play Astrobot. So the PS5 Pro comes with an upgraded GPU. So the blog post says it has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console. This sounds like, what was the other word they said for the Xbox? We had to ask Simon for it.
Teraflops?
Or some, yes. It sounds something made up.
Compute units. Yeah. Straight out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
sir. Don't have enough compute units to beam you to another planet.
Yeah. So from what I understand, the GPU is 67% more efficient and 28% faster memory. So up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. There's advanced ray tracing, so the ray tracing looks even better. PS5 had ray tracing, right?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't
It's
an Xbox.
advanced, though, because it's a Pro. So it has to be
It's the Pro,
advanced.
the advanced Pro mecha version.
We want-
More computing power.
Yeah.
But stop, I have more like buzzwords to throw at you. Like AI-driven upscaling.
Woo! Okay.
PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, an
Wow.
AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine-learned based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail. That was a lot to say that the automatic upscaling is better.
Quite verbose, this blog post.
It is. I'm off to the PlayStation.blog. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not reading some journalist that translated it. I just wanted the
From the
wanted
source.
to raw dog
That-
the corpo speak.
Kat, that, what did you call it? They have a special name on this upscaling with the AI. What was it called again?
PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Yeah, so that has an acronym now. PSSR.
Oh my god. Did AI write this blog post?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Other enhancement, they say that the PS5 Pro Game Boost, and all of these words are capitalized, so I imagine it's something official.
Branded.
Yeah. It can make 8,500 backward compatible PS4 games playable on the PS5 Pro. So, old buzzword, old game new on new console.
Perfect.
So it's going to improve the resolution of the PS4 games. I mean, if you've been doing any kind of backward compatibility with the Xbox One, Series X, or the PlayStation 5, it's the same. It's just better on this one because this console is more expensive. Mm-hmm. It includes Wi-Fi 7.
Great.
So
I've been really dissatisfied with my Wi-Fi 6 lately, so I'm really looking
exactly.
forward to this.
It's expensive. Got to have the most latest Wi-Fi. And also, it supports 8K gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Who has 8K television? I don't know, but they can get a PS5 Pro. I feel like this is very much a future-proofing console, but by the time that 8K is going to be ubiquitous, we're going to be like in another console generation.
Yeah. We won't even...
Probably.
Will we be even on a TV?
Maybe. I think we're going to be on TVs for quite a while.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
for it.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, it looks like the PS5 Pro, except it's got side stripes.
Let's talk about those side stripes. It looks like this was brought to you by Adidas.
I totally thought that at first, too. I was like, I like those. And I'm like, Adidas?
Clearly sports stripes, because stripes make shit sportier, faster.
Means fast.
It's a swoosh.
Gotta
It needed the
go
Nike,
fast.
the Nike sport effect. Nike Adidas sport effect. Swoosh. Lines.
Yeah, they wrote a beautiful paragraph to say, it fits well with the current family, so it doesn't mess up with your aesthetics. All they added was 3 stripes.
Is it
all right,
smaller, though?
Let's talk price, Kat. Let's talk price.
I think it's about
I don't
the
know
same
if it's smaller. It's
size.
physically smaller.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's probably the size of the original PS5 before they slimmed it down.
A chonker. Right.
Yeah. So,
Boy.
It's a big boy, yeah.
how much do we pay for 8K gaming and the PSSR technology?
PSSR. Pay all the monies.
Yeah. $699.99. $700 US dollars. 700 pounds. 800 euros.
Huh.
Or 200,000 yens.
Yoicks.
It
Have we
includes,
looked at what it costs in Canada?
I would say somewhere around 700, 750.
Canada price.
I think it's 8. Isn't it 8?
Is it eight?
$959.99.
Yo, my ovaries got smaller.
$159.99.
Oh my God.
And that doesn't include a disc drive. And
Or a
it doesn't
stand.
include the fucking stand. The fuck?
Okay, yo,
But it includes a controller.
yo, Loki, if you need to smuggle
Why?
something across the border, you didn't hear it from me. See, I'll go ahead and I'll get you some
Yeah,
from
but
here.
okay,
right?
but like, hold on now. But like, that means I need to go exchange my monies, USD into CAD.
Yeah.
Okay, what did we say it was in USD?
It's
$699.99.
Yes.
Yeah, 951. I would
Whoa.
save myself $8.
Not,
That wouldn't cover shipping nor my travel nor the
just-
exchange.
like, fuck it. And
But
and
hey,
then, like, let's be honest. You're there. You're going to Target. You're spending way more money.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a reason to spend more money.
I guess I feel like at least you get at least 2 terabyte of memory off the bat.
I guess. Who is this for?
It's for the people
Honestly.
that missed the PS5 launch that haven't gotten. I honestly think Sony was like, okay, there's people out there that bypassed the PS5 because it was so hard to get. And they're
Exactly.
like, it's insane. I'm not saying it
Screams of PS3 launch.
Yes, that's what a lot
Take
of
out a second job.
Yes.
Who's gonna spend? Why would you go spend $1,000 on a game console without some of the key pieces that you need?
Because you have an 8K
Instead
TV.
of just go buy a goddamn gaming PC at this point.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Listen, my laptop cost about $2,000 new.
It's still cheaper.
And
You can buy a nice tower for $1,000.
Yeah, you can.
yeah.
Yeah, you just can't hook it up to your TV yet. I think we're getting there.
I mean, you can. I HDMI'd my PC to my TV.
I paid the laptop premium to be able to do that.
Yeah, I guess like I'm saying that like I have a desk that's in an office, right? I don't have it on like my main, like on the
No,
on the
but I
main
ran a
TV.
dirty big cable to the TV.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it works.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Oh, it's
But it includes like for $1,000 Canadian dollars. It includes a 2 terabyte SSD,
that's what I'm saying.
a DualSense wireless controller, and a copy of Astro's Playroom pre-installed. Not Astrobot, Playroom.
That was free on the other one. The controller also has gone up in price too. If you want another controller, it's now more expensive. I'm concerned. What is the PS6 gonna cost? Like, what does this mean for hardware?
Yeah,
I just feel like if we were back a generation, the PS4 original OG would have dropped in price, and the Pro would have replaced that at the price point. That's not what's happening here.
Oh, no.
I bought my PlayStation 5 for around $700 when I bought it.
Yep.
And that was obscene.
Yep.
And now you're asking me to pay $1,000? Are you high?
For more ray tracing.
No offense.
for more ray tracing and better
For
VR.
more tracing.
And AI.
An 8K on a TV that can't run that?
Yeah.
Who is it for?
I
don't understand.
See, I have a friend who's looking at it seriously
Oh.
because he only has a PS5.
Only.
That's all he. Yeah, he doesn't have.
I'm sorry. You're saying that's the only thing he uses to game on.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
plays on,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
I think he has a Switch, but it's his son's Switch, and I think it follows him between the two houses because
Okay.
he's separated from his ex. So
Yeah.
I think besides this, like he doesn't have a gaming computer. Whatever computer he has is office issued laptop, whatever. So he was looking at it seriously, and he was like, "Anybody want to buy like my PS5 for like a couple $100 so I can afford this?" And I was like, "Yo." My friend Eddie was also, "Yo." I was like, "All right, you know what? I got an Xbox Series X. Like, I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, like, they're in Ottawa. They were for the government. Like, I work at Ubisoft. I can find a used PS5
Yeah.
fucking easily.
I mean, on some
was-
level, you bring up a good point of like, if I really wanted to upgrade, which I don't, but if I did, if I sold my PS5 even for $200, this will help offset the cost. So I just pay basically another $500 for this, so that makes sense to me. Of like, hey, if I sell, which is still a good deal for a PS5 at this point, and
If it's your
and I get
only
in-
console.
yeah, if it's your only console, and you wanted to upgrade, okay.
I'm kind of like trying to butter up one of our engine programmers at work because he's like a
Oh.
big PlayStation fan, bought the PlayStation day one. His most used console.
It's a great console.
He fucking loves it, and he's like
Yeah.
looking at it, and I'm just like, I'll buy your old PS5 for $300, no controllers.
Cat's in the office with a fedora,
Just like-
puts it to her eyes, being like,
And he sits
Hey.
like in front of me, like the way it is, like, you know, like I look at another row, and I look at the row of engine programmers, and sometimes like the other two guys are there, and I just see him, and I'm just yelling at them. I'm like,
I should
can
try
visually
this at
picture
work.
now.
I should try this.
Cat
at work.
like slowly rising, her head slowly popping up above the monitors, kind of like Wilson from Home Improvement, being like,
Yeah.
I'll buy you a PlayStation 5.
It's going to enable. Listen, like during a play session at one point, I ledged him. And we were playing For Honor, of course, and I ledged him, like threw him out because he didn't see me, and I just kind of like went behind him and ledged him. I just stood up, looked straight at him, went like this, and sat back down.
Saluted. The 2-finger salute.
Just like, and he just went. He just gave me like a nod of like, you got me.
GG.
Yeah, GG nod.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and like we have like group chats, like a For Honor wide group chat where they talk a lot about news and they were talking about it. I just went in the chat and I was like, I will buy your old PS5. I'm like, this is my time to shine. Like, I don't give a shit about this PS5 Pro. I give a shit about cheap PS5s.
How much
so I can backlog game.
is the stand? This is absurd. So
Just the stand? Yeah.
So it doesn't come with the stand. So if you want
No, it doesn't come with a stand.
If you
like,
wanna-
how are you supposed to like? Do people lay it down? I thought even when you laid it down, you need to put it on the stand.
Yeah, you should have some space, even if you lay it down, for air circulation. And it's so big that I don't have, there's no other way for me to put it in my space with my TV stand and then my shelves on the other sides of my TV. I have to have it standing up. So
ladies, scroll the picture on the blog page to when you see what I think is the PlayStation Slim, which might be a smidge smaller.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's smaller than the OG one,
Oh.
but the new guy looks bigger.
It is. I think it's the same size. That
Yeah.
is
It's the original
wild
one.
to me. So the Slim also has a disk drive, which this Pro does not have. You have to also buy that separately.
You have to buy it. No, I bought just the digital one because I don't want to own physical media
Sure.
anymore because I'm tired of moving stuff around my house.
Yeah.
When you have a small place, so I'm perfectly fine not having it. But yeah, it's
So $1,000, I have to buy the disc drive separate, and it comes with a little
And the
cover
stand.
that you pop in, and the stand, because it doesn't take the stand from the original
No,
PlayStation 5.
so the stand,
You have
a different stand.
The stand, yeah, it's a different stand. The stand
Okay,
is
it's a bigger scam than I thought. Whatever, still. Colleagues, Ubisoft colleagues, please upgrade. So
calling
yeah.
all Ubisoft colleagues.
on the billboards,
willing
like
to
at
buy it.
work, where you could like take the little tickers off of like yoga class or like guitar lessons. It's gonna be cats. Like, please sell your PS5.
I don't
She
give a
has
shit.
Trench coat. She has a trench coat, like those guys who are selling watches on the beach. And she opens one side and it says, "I will buy your PS5." She opens the other side, it's full cash.
Listen, if it doesn't work with a For Honor crew, like I'll cross the Sky Bridge, go see like Assassin's Creed Brand is sitting across from us.
Cat
I'll go to the Brand folks and be like, "Hi."
marketing. Go with marketing. You have to buy a
I
bunch
know
of
Assassin's
stands.
Creed Shadows is shipping soon, but I have a very big
Buy a bunch
proposition.
of stands so you can give them hey, here's an incentive. I got you the stand.
I'll
for
buy
free.
you the stand.
I'll buy you the stand.
I'll walk over to the other building, go talk to Rainbow Six folks, just be like,
you
anybody
go.
selling a PlayStation 5, for just for them to be like, doesn't your prod get bonus? Can't you afford this shit? I'm like, I am not dumb enough to buy this Pro, but you are.
Wow, that is wild.
Sell me your
I will
PlayStation.
fund your pro.
Oh, that is wild.
yeah,
And I can't
I-
believe it's the same size. It's so big. Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe the PS Pro 5 Pro Slim will come out like 2 years before the PS6.
I don't know. I don't know.
the
I don't know
PS5 Pro Slim.
I don't know anymore.
Oh,
Didn't they do that with the PlayStation 4? I feel like they had like, at one point you could buy a really small one, or was that the PlayStation 3?
There was one that looked like had 3 lines on it. No, PlayStation 3 had like 3 form factors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just feel like also with how much so it is essentially the cost of like a I'm sure a pretty good tower, but if you want a top of the line tower, like you're going to be
Oh no, you're paying 2-3 grand.
Oh,
for sure.
for sure. So I guess on some level I am not justifying this price, but also if you're going to continue to bank on hardware to deliver the graphics like of particular games, they do have the bandwidth to charge more given how much all the components are for a higher end PC. Because that's what it is. It's putting a PC into the living room, which a lot of PCs didn't have access to except until now, where you have the handhelds, which are really coming up to par. So, but this is insane. Like, this is bonkers, bananas, wallet crying,
Craziness.
all this stuff.
Yeah, I can't look at this anymore. Let's... I don't know anymore. Let's talk about Annapurna Interactive staff deciding to peace out last week.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So we were talking the week before about the deal for Control 2 and some of the movies and TV series in that universe. Well, according to Bloomberg, but I found a GameIndustry.biz TLDR article, so you don't have to pay the Bloomberg subscription. Hey, because we are all looking to afford a PlayStation of some sort. The majority of Annapurna Interactive team have walked out after talks with its parent company had collapsed. So the publisher formed in 2016 a division of Megan Ellison's Annapurna Pictures and had a few hit releases, including Stray, What Remains of Edith Finch, and The Outer Wilds. However, with Annapurna Pictures shifting its strategies around games, the interactive team was looking to spin the publisher out as an independent business. According to Bloomberg, the negotiations were being led by interactive head Nathan Gary. However, both parties had failed to reach an agreement, causing the heads of Annapurna Interactive and 24 other staff to walk out. Annapurna Interactive was planning to publish over a dozen indie games over the next 2 years, including Silent Hill, a title in the Silent Hill franchise. The firm told Bloomberg that it will continue to support these titles and continue to expand in video games, although it will now need to replace its lost employees or outsource some of the function, which includes marketing, localization, QA, PR, and platform relation. Annapurna has been looking to more closely integrate games with its TV and film side. It rehired Hector Sanchez from Epic Games, who was one of the founders of Annapurna Interactive, as president of Interactive and New Media. The firm has also just signed the deal with Finnish game developer Remedy over the TV and movie rights of Control and Alan Wake, which included co-financing of the upcoming Control video games. So,
This is crazy.
This is bonkers. Yeah, this is nuts.
yeah.
This
so,
is like a story that I heard when I was September 12th. Yeah, I was flying when this, and I later on in the evening when I got back to the hotel and I was finally like free enough to flip through Twitter, and I read this and I was like, what?
I thought it was clickbait at first. I was like,
And then I had to
everyone?
go and Google it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course I couldn't read the Bloomberg article because I've already clicked on one Bloomberg article this month. So I had to go find another article. I was like, oh, wild.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. So basically, it's the video game publishing division of Annapurna.
That sucks.
Annapurna is not a studio; it is a publisher.
Yeah.
So it enables developers to publish, giving them resources, like a lot of it being PR and marketing,
Yeah.
but also helping them connect with platforms on which you publish on and connect with studios that can help for porting. Because very rarely do small studios are able to do a multi-platform release day one without help. So this just negotiating that went south. So yeah, they lost a lot of senior staff, like head staff. I don't know what it's looking like for the little guys there. But yeah. Heads of Annapurna Interactive and 24 other staff walked out because of this. Parent company had collapsed. Talks with the parent company had collapsed.
Wow.
Annapurna Pictures.
That's great.
So I think a lot of the studios that have signed deals with Annapurna were saying right now they're moving forward as planned. No game has said, "Oh, we won't be able to ship without this." I'm thinking some games won't be able to uphold certain platform releases. So they might have to go like one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they will have to publish themselves, or...
Well, I imagine it also, like, hit on Thursday, and we're Monday now, and maybe they just haven't figured it out, because they're like, now what? Now they have to scramble and figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Because it kind of came out of left field.
It's gonna be a scramble for Annapurna. They're gonna have to find a way to stuff, because like they lost a lot of people in localization and QA, which are a lot of the things that are outsourced, especially for smaller game devs.
Yeah.
So, and platform relations, like that's like talking to Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo.
Yeah. True.
So I'm very curious to see what the updates are going to be. Like you said, it happened Thursday. We're now Monday. What's the aftermath of this? What's happening at Annapurna? I'm guessing we'll have more news later this week for the next episode or so. A few episodes.
Yeah,
we should be able to have updates.
We'll keep following it, of course. All right. Let's move on to the third story, which we're going to say asterisk story, because it's not really a story. It's rumors. Because it is that time when we feel we would learn more very soon about the successor to the Nintendo Switch, which there's been a few things kind of pop up over the past few days, including some updates as of 13 hours ago. But let's dig into the stuff that came first, which I believe was a price leak. That, on September 13th on comicbook.com, Nintendo Switch 2 leak reveals console price. Now, everybody's been calling it Nintendo Switch 2 just for a while, but there's more to come on that. The price of a Nintendo Switch 2 may have just leaked. While Nintendo has formally acknowledged it is working on a new console and teased that it is a successor to the Nintendo Switch, it hasn't revealed the machine nor relayed word on when it will unveil it. Based on a plethora of rumors, the expectation is Nintendo Switch 2 will release sometime next year. To this end, if this is true, then it will presumably be revealed soon, which is exactly what the latest rumor about the console alleges. The rumor comes from an anonymous source, but one with an interesting track record. More specifically, the rumor emerged out of an unofficial Discord of GTA 6 from a user called Moistly Charlie. Moisty. What? Moisty Charlie is their name. Bad name, bud. Typical anonymous sources aren't worth paying too much attention to. However, this is reportedly leaked as the PS5 Pro announcement date, when the price point before any of the details were officially revealed by Sony. And considering no one saw the PS5 Pro's $700 price point coming, it is safe to rule out a double lucky guess. According to the leaker, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be announced early next month. And this was September when this was written. When exactly in October, the leaker doesn't say, but early suggests the first half of the month, possibly the first week. Providing more specifics, the leaker also mentioned a price point. If the information is accurate, the Nintendo Switch 2 will release at $400. What was also mentioned is that Nintendo will have two different SKUs of the console available in order to offer two different price points, $400, presumably the cheaper model. There are no further specifics provided by the leaker, but perhaps Nintendo is set to follow suit of offer a cheaper, all-digital console in addition to a standard model with a disc drive. Nintendo doesn't have discs, spies.
Yeah.
Anyways, cartridges. It eventually offers this with the Nintendo Switch via the Nintendo Switch Lite, but it doesn't come until later it did not come until later in the lifespan of the Switch. Whatever the case, the leaker makes no mention of being the explanation of the two SKUs. That is purely speculation at this point. Of course, all speculation, the origin of the speculation of the rumor itself should be taken with a grain of salt. Nothing here is official information. Even if it's accurate, it is subject to change. Nintendo is unlikely to change price points at this point in development, but reveal date is often very fluid timing. Speaking of Nintendo, it has not commented on this rumor in any capacity. It never comments on rumors, so we don't expect this to change. But if it does, we will update the story accordingly. So that happened on September 13th, which was Friday. And then today, Stealth40K on Twitter had posted, and Stealth40K is usually pretty solid, that according to a new rumor from Famiboard, Switch 2 has begun mass production in China. The system is named Switch 2, and there will be black and white Joy-Cons. As always, take with a grain of salt until officially revealed by Nintendo. Based on what Furukawa said, March 31st, 2025 is the latest Switch successor will be officially revealed. He said, I thought Nintendo might wait until January to at least give Switch one last really strong holiday period. Now I feel it will happen before the end of 2024. I did see and got an email about bundles of the current Nintendo Switch that they're kind of prepping for the holiday season come out. It comes with Mario Kart. There's 2 different bundles.
Oh.
But yeah, interesting to see that. The console's not coming out before the end of the year. That is for damn sure.
No. And
my vibe is that it's going to follow what they did at the Switch.
Yep.
They're going to announce it in October/November, kind of like they did with the last one, because it came out around the same time as Red Dead Redemption hit. Red Dead Redemption 2, that is. And then release it early March, just before the end of the fiscal year. And then that way they get all their early adopters, and then they can make more for holiday season 2025.
But you don't think that they're going to wait to announce it until after holiday season of 2024?
No.
You don't think
they did last time?
I know, but if they're coming out with a new game in September, and if they're coming out with bundles for the holiday, wouldn't it make sense for them to wait to talk about a new console until right after the holiday season? Or would that not be enough time? I guess I just feel like...
I don't think it's not a tough time.
I just feel like if I know it's coming, because we've been waiting for this for so long, I don't know. I understand, like, traditionally where you're coming from, but I also think, like, I'd want to squeeze out any last penny out of the Nintendo Switch or OLED console that I could. And if I distracted the consumer with the promise of a new one coming out, although maybe it'd be cheaper to buy it with the games. I guess I could think about that too. But yeah.
Well, the rumor mill has also stated that, and obviously a grain of salt, that the console's going to be backward compatible. So I imagine all the games that we've actively been collecting in our libraries, be them cartridge-based or digital, would potentially be playable. I'm just looking back at the Switch, which was codenamed NX. I'm looking to see when they did the announcement of the NX. The first public news about Switch's hardware happened alongside the announcement of Nintendo and DENA's partnership on March 17th, 2015. On the stage, Nintendo referred to the codename NX as described to a brand new concept. Where did it do the thing? On October 20th, 2016, Nintendo officially announced the console under the name Nintendo Switch, alongside a trailer that demonstrated the hardware nature as a hybrid device. That was the moment where they had, like, the Mario kind of peeking around the curtain. The curtain, sorry. Yeah. At the time of the trailer's release, Nintendo did not provide many details on features of the platform, though they had planned to have events in 2017 to provide more details about the console. November revealed technical details of the Switch, including its worldwide launch date and price, at a press event in Tokyo on January 13th. Now, mind you, at that time, Wii U was not doing great. And then, of course, when they started doing all these things. So they had announced it in October 20th, 2016. Then they gave further details in January of 2017, and the console actually came out on March 3rd, 2017, which puts it in to get that big bang at the end of that year's fiscal cycle for money-wise for their investors. Yeah. I would see them doing this again, because it means they get the double hit, because then as soon as so they get this big influx, and then people are clamoring for it all the beginning of next year, and they have time to prep everything for the year, for end-of-year sales. Yeah. So Switch is still going to sell. It's not going to stop people from buying, especially at the price point. If they come out and they say anything about that, like, I don't think that's going to stop people who do not have a Switch right now from buying a Switch.
or another one.
I think it's well, people will definitely wait then at that point, unless their Switch is dead.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if they are like, okay, maybe there's a family member, or maybe there's someone else, maybe I can sell my old Switch, will get an OLED version, and then I don't know. I think there's room, like, if there's a bundle, or if they're, what have you.
Well, there is a bundle.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if there's bundles
for the one right now
coming out for the holidays, like, people will still buy.
So I've got it. I found it, the tweet that I saw. So it was 7 hours ago. The Nintendo Switch -OLED model, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Bundle, and Nintendo Switch Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Bundle, so that's a different OLED and non-OLED, will be available early this fall. Both bundles include a digital code for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game and a 12-month Nintendo Switch online individual membership. Ooh. That's like, what, $20, $30?
40. I think it's 40. US.
That was it probably went up. But yeah, that's what they're planning on being the thing you pick up this year for Christmas for kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one.
That's what I feel like they're going to follow the same pattern. That's my vibe.
Yeah, all right.
It worked well.
It did.
Last time.
Yeah. That's why I'm in project management, not marketing.
Yeah. $400. I will easily drop what will end up being $500 Canadian on it if it's $400.
Well,
actually, I'll spend $700 on a Nintendo console. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point, I got my money's worth on the
$100 more
on this one
than what it came out as. Was it $300 when it initially released in 2017?
I don't remember because I had a review console.
So, given inflation, that price doesn't.
Oh, here we go. USD, $300.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's $100
so
more.
Probably like $350 here in.
Yeah.
Or almost $400 in Canada. Yeah. So there we are. I mean, that's coming around the bend. We're probably going to find that out within the next few weeks. I mean, October is, swear to God, right around the corner. Considering it's the 16th of September right now. This year is flying by.
You need to tell the weather, though.
Yeah, I definitely need to tell the weather that it's not fall yet.
Okay.
All right, folks. Well, that pretty much closes out our show for this week. As always, check out the show notes on girlsongames.ca for the links to all the stories mentioned in this episode. Thank you very much, Catherine, for doing that for us every week. If you have the power to rate and review a podcast where you're consuming it, it'd be much appreciated if you could do so. Why? It moves us up in the rankings, helps make our podcast discoverable, and if you leave comments, those comments help us build our show. Thank you, crew, for being on the podcast with me this week. As always, I want you to shout out your social media handles so people can find you anywhere and everywhere online. Catherine, where can people find you?
I am sorry. Ooh. I am CSDSBINS on X, Thread, Blue Sky, Instagram, but I mostly hang out in the Girls on Games Discord.
Joelle.
People can find me on Instagram at JoelleLauren87, on X at gamer_comfy, but every day saying hi and chatting on the Girls on Games Discord. Come and say hi.
And I am Leah Jew on most social media platforms, but of course you want to know everything there is to know about Girls on Games. You can track us down at The Girls on Games on X and Facebook, Girls on Games on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, and I swear to God I will post more TikToks now that I'm not working all the time. Full tilt. Discord.me/girlsongames to continue this conversation and more. But of course, if you want to know anything at all, you can track us down at our home base. That's our website, girlsongames.ca. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Joelle. It's been another lovely week in video games. And I'm off to sleep.
Save money by not buying the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm going to play some more Star Wars until I get my hands on Astrobot. Until then, see you all next week. Bye!
Bye!
Bye!